The retirement party for James Parker Sr., CEO of Parker Industries, was in full swing at the Grand Plaza Hotel. Family, executives, and board members gathered to celebrate 40 years of leadership, and to jockey for position in the coming power transition. I sat quietly at my assigned table, far from the main action, of course, watching my brother James Jr. work the room. Everyone knew he was the heir apparent, groomed since birth to take over the family business. "Little sister." James's voice boomed across the room. "Still job hunting?" I sipped my water, hiding a smile. "Something like that. You know," he continued, loud enough for nearby executives to hear, "there might be an entry-level position in HR if you're really desperate. Though you'd have to actually come to the office." The executives chuckled. Poor Catherine Parker, the family disappointment who'd walked away from her VP position 2 years ago to find herself. My phone buzzed discreetly. "Acquisition paperwork complete. You now own 82% of Parker Industries." "I'll keep that in mind," I replied mildly, thinking of the documents waiting in my briefcase. Documents that would turn their carefully planned succession upside down. My mother glided over, designer heels clicking on marble. "Catherine, darling, you could at least have worn something more appropriate for the occasion." I glanced down at my simple black dress, the same one I'd worn while negotiating the secret purchase of their company's shares. "I'm comfortable as I am." "Comfort is for people who can afford it," she sniffed. "Really, dear, if you're struggling so much, you could just ask your father for help. No need for this independent phase." My phone lit up again. Board meeting scheduled for announcement. All preparations complete. James wandered back, champagne in hand. "Hey, maybe we could find you a job in the mailroom? You know, work your way up like regular people." If only they knew I'd spent the past 2 years building Stone Global Ventures, systematically acquiring companies across 3 continents, including, as of an hour ago, Parker Industries. "Ladies and gentlemen," the event coordinator's voice cut through the chatter. "Please welcome our guest speaker, the CEO of Stone Global Ventures." The room buzzed with excitement. Stone Global was a mysterious but powerful force in international business, known for aggressive acquisitions and brilliant strategy. My father stood straighter, probably hoping for a powerful alliance for his precious heir. James smoothed his designer suit, ready to impress. "Thank you all," I said quietly, standing up. The silence was absolute. James's champagne glass slipped from his fingers, shattering on the marble floor. "Catherine," my father whispered. "What are you?" "Hello, Dad," I smiled. "Ready to meet your company's new owner." Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's becoming their boss while they're still busy underestimating you. And I was just getting started. The chaos that erupted was spectacular. James stumbled backward, nearly knocking over a waiter. My mother's perfectly maintained socialite mask cracked, showing raw shock beneath. And my father just stared, his retirement speech forgotten in his hands. "This is impossible," James finally managed. "Stone Global Ventures is a multi-billion-dollar company." "Yes," I agreed calmly, walking to the podium. "The one I built while you all thought I was finding myself." But you've been unemployed," my mother burst out. "Living in that tiny apartment wearing the same clothes." "Actually," I pulled out my tablet displaying Stone Global's portfolio. "I've been quite busy. Building an empire, acquiring undervalued companies, and watching Parker Industries make exactly the mistakes I predicted when I left." The room was dead silent now, every eye fixed on the numbers scrolling across the screen. Billions in assets. Hundreds of companies. Global reach that dwarfed Parker Industries' modest success. My phone buzzed. Media alerted. "Story breaks in 5 minutes." "Now," I continued professionally, "let's discuss the changes coming to Parker Industries." James found his voice, though it shook slightly. "Changes? But I'm supposed to be CEO. It's been planned for years." "Ah yes, the grand succession plan," I smiled. "The one that ignored every innovation proposal I made, every warning about outdated practices, every suggestion for modernization." My father stepped forward, his face ashen. "Catherine, please. We can discuss this as family." "Family?" I raised an eyebrow. "Like when you dismissed my concerns about the company's direction. Or when you told the board I was too soft for executive leadership." The screens around the room suddenly flashed with breaking news. Stone Global Ventures acquires Parker Industries in surprise move. Mysterious CEO revealed as Catherine Parker. "Oh God," James whispered, reaching for another champagne glass. "This can't be happening." "It already has," I replied, pulling out the final documents. "As of an hour ago, Stone Global owns 82% of Parker Industries. And our first order of business will be a complete restructuring of leadership." My mother sank into a chair, her designer dress crumpling. But you're not ready for this. You live like a normal person." "That's because success isn't about showing off wealth," I said quietly. "It's about building something meaningful while others are busy maintaining appearances." My phone lit up again, executive team standing by for restructuring orders. "Now," I addressed the shocked room, "those who want to be part of Parker Industries' future can adapt to our new merit-based culture. Those who can't." I glanced at James, still clutching his champagne, "will find their severance packages generous." "Merit-based?" James sputtered. "But I'm your brother. The heir. Being born first isn't merit," I replied coolly. "Neither is wearing designer suits or playing golf with board members. Real leadership is about vision, innovation, and understanding that success isn't inherited, it's earned." My father finally found his voice again. "All this time, while we thought you were struggling, I was building something bigger than Parker Industries could ever be," I finished. "Something that doesn't measure success by last names or country club memberships." The room was starting to buzz with whispered conversations. Executives who'd dismissed me were now frantically updating their resumes. Board members who'd laughed at my proposals were suddenly reviewing my old presentations. "One more thing," I added, straightening my simple black dress. "James, about that mailroom position? I think you might want to keep that option open. You're going to need to learn how actual business works." The look on his face was priceless. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking over the family company. It's showing them that true leadership doesn't need flashy displays or inherited titles. And I did it all while they thought I was unemployed, living in my modest apartment, actually the penthouse, building an empire in secret. Because sometimes, the biggest power move is letting them think you've failed until you own their definition of success. The retirement party had transformed into something else entirely. Gone was the celebratory atmosphere, replaced by a tense combination of fear and desperate networking. I watched from my new position at the head table as my family tried to process their new reality. "Miss Stone." A junior executive approached nervously, using my professional name. "Your team is ready for the transition briefing." "Thank you, Michael," I replied, noting how my brother flinched at hearing his former subordinate address me so formally. My phone buzzed, global markets responding. Parker Industries stock up 40% on acquisition news. James stumbled over, his designer tie loosened, champagne abandoned. "Katie, come on. We can work something out. Co-sis maybe. Like when I suggested co-leadership 2 years ago?" I asked quietly. "What did you call it?" "Cute that little sister wants to play business." He paled, remembering his own words. "I didn't mean." "Yes, you did," I cut him off. "Just like you meant it when you told the board my innovative proposals were emotionally driven rather than strategic." My mother hurried over, her social graces cracking further. "Darling, think about the family name. The legacy." "The legacy?" I pulled up another document on my tablet. "You mean the legacy of refusing to modernize? Of ignoring market trends because we've always done it this way? That legacy?" The screens around the room displayed Stone Global's latest stock prices, soaring on news of the acquisition. Below them scrolled headlines: Stone Global CEO Catherine Parker, the hidden billionaire who built an empire in secret. "But you live so simply," my mother whispered. "The apartment, the clothes." "Because I understand the difference between having wealth and wasting it," I replied. "While you were all focusing on appearances, I was building something real." My father approached last, his retirement speech still clutched in his hands. "I don't understand. Why the secrecy? Why let us think I was struggling?" I finished. "Because you never would have let me build this my way. Every step would have been questioned, every decision second-guessed, all because it didn't fit your outdated image of success." My phone lit up, First round of executive interviews scheduled. Leadership restructuring begins tomorrow. Speaking of success, I stood addressing the room. Let's discuss Parker Industries' new direction. First change, merit-based advancement only. No more promotions based on family connections or golf club memberships. James actually swayed slightly. But that's not how business works. No, I corrected him. That's not how you did business. While you were planning your corner office decoration, I was building a global empire that values innovation over inheritance. The room was filled with the sound of furious note-taking as executives realized the old ways were officially over. One more thing, I added, my voice carrying clearly. The company's new headquarters will be in my tiny apartment building. You know, the one you mocked? The entire top floor of stone tower. My mother's designer clutch slipped from her fingers. The stone tower? The most expensive building in the city. Amazing what you can afford when you're not wasting money on showing off, I smiled. Though James, you might want to start house hunting. Your company mansion is being converted into a community innovation center. The look of horror on his face was matched only by my mother's dismay at the loss of their social status symbol. Now, I checked my simple watch, the same one they pitted me for wearing. I have an empire to run. Those interested in being part of Parker Industries' future can meet with HR tomorrow. Merit evaluations begin immediately. As I gathered my things, my father made one last attempt. Catherine, please. The family name will finally be associated with real success, I finished. Not just inherited privilege. Walking out of the party, my party now, I couldn't help but add a final touch. Oh, and James? About that mailroom position. Better get your resume ready. Though you might want to leave off the former heir part. We're not big on nepotism at Stone Global. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just becoming their boss. It's showing them that true success was never about the name, the clothes, or the appearances. It's about building something meaningful while they're too busy showing off to notice the empire rising in their shadow. And I did it all in my simple black dress from my modest penthouse, while they thought I was just another failed executive looking for work. Because sometimes, the biggest power move is letting them underestimate you until you own their entire world. My phone buzzed one final time. Welcome to your new office, Miss Stone. The view from the top is excellent. Yes, it was.